Okay, let's test this link and see we're good to go. We should be good to go in a second. Let's have a sound check. We should be flying. Come on, come on, come on, come on.
We're good to go. We should be good to go in a second.
Okay, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. You know who I am. Welcome to the post-fight for Frampton versus Quigg. Lots of build-up. I'm sure there's lots of people have got lots of things to talk about. We'll get straight into the main event. And forgive me for my camera. I think it set itself up afterwards. But we'll get straight into the event and we'll talk straight about the fight itself. We'll see who's in the room first before I start talking. In the room, I have Marky BA, K Roger 299, Feed Habib, Kyle D, Terence Talbot. Okay, thank you so much for deciding to choose Torch Bay Lorick TV. I'm going to get straight into it, reading your comments. I've been greeted by, well, that was a shit fight. Frampton School Quigg, Marky B. K Roger 299 says, it was a shit fight. K Roger 299 said, Frampton and Quigg ain't that good for small guys that didn't throw F all. Andy Wilkinson says, hey guys. Marky B says, Frampton schooled Quigg pretty badly in my opinion. I had Frampton winning 8 rounds to 4. Andy Wilkinson, I had Frampton up by 3. But Andy says, schooled, definitely not. Feed Habib says, as I said, Frampton Points was printing money. Where was Scott Quigg's power? I thought he was the mini Mike Tyson. Andy Wilkinson said, I never heard anyone call him that, but he was the only one to hurt a fighter in this fight. Cardi says, all good. Check 1, check 2. Marky B says, Frampton won by a mile, Andy. Be honest, LOL. Andy Wilkinson says, hi, hey Ingram. Hey Andy, thank you so much for doing the poster. Fantastic stuff. Now I'll have to get you on board or somehow or the other. Terence Talbot says, fixed judge. How did Martinez see that for Quigg? Marky says, how did you see the fight, Ingram? Andy Wilkinson says, by a mile. No, he won by 2-3 rounds solid. 2-3 rounds, sober up, mate, says Mikey B. Mike Tyson says, yo, Ingram, Mike Tyson in the house. Yes, Mike. Mikey B says, Quigg threw nothing for 7 to 8 rounds. Eric Cantona says, Frampton didn't school Quigg. Andy Wilkins says, what you have it, Mark, can't read what it says there. Eric Cantona says, Frampton used Rage Fighter for the first 7 rounds. Both did jack shit for the first 7. Andy Wilkins says, most welcome, my friend. CP FEC says, glad I never paid. I'm glad I never paid too. Anyway, so people are going to, first of all, give my opinion on the fight. There's a few things I want to point out. First of all, Ingram, how do you see it? Was it as clear win or what? Well, okay. Now, I will say this much. Frampton, Quigg did start slowing the bout. And in a world title fight, as a world defending champion, you know, you have to set a pace. You can't afford for somebody else to be setting the pace in a big fight. That's the first thing I've got to say. The second thing I've got to say is this. A lot of Frampton shots that you would say were scoring when we go back and watch the fight. Come on, camera. When we go back and watch the fight without emotion into it, without the emotion, take the emotion out of it. Go back and look at the fight. A lot of Frampton shots, Quigg was catching. So if he's catching the shots and they're not making full impact and they're not making full shots, then I would score those rounds 10-10 rounds because Frampton's throwing shots, but they're getting caught. If Frampton's getting shots are getting caught, then how can you score a round for Frampton? If you're going to say you're scoring the round because Frampton's more active, okay, I'll give you that. I'll tell you that Frampton is more active. If this camera keeps playing up, I'm going to change the cameras. If Frampton's been scored for being more active in the first 5 rounds, I'm going to lose my temper with this camera tonight. If Frampton is being scored for the first 5 rounds or the first 6 rounds of the fight for being active, sorry guys, I'm taking this camera out. Forgive me a second while I reset, because this camera is just too erratic, and you guys want to see me talking. So, but at least you'll get to see into that. Okay, that's better. So Frampton, for me, a lot of his shots he was scoring, his shots were being caught by Quigg's defensive work. So if you're scoring the fight based on the fact that Frampton was more effective or more active in the first 5 to 6 rounds, yes, I'll give you that. But if you're going to score the fight on defensive work and Quigg catching shots and Quigg not firing back, then yes, also I give that to Frampton because he looked more effective. Even if he wasn't really winning rounds convincingly, he was pinching points, and that's experience coming in there. That's where you, as a top class fighter, you win fights by sometimes sneaky things. Look at Bernard Hopkins, some of the top fighters. Experience comes in there. So I think Scott Quigg was caught slightly. The experience showed there. You could see the amateur class from Frampton, where you pick points and fights. So he's picking points early, and he's building up a lead early. So tactically, for Frampton's side, did great. From Quigg's side of things, started too slow, first thing. Secondly, Joe Gallagher. Joe Gallagher, now listen, this meant me Ring Magazine Trainer of the Year. Ring Magazine Trainer of the Year has to rely on Sky Sports judging and scorecards to dictate what the game plan is. And then he turns around and calls Shane McGuigan an amateur. Those points there. For me, if I have to be honest with you, Frampton won the fight. Frampton won the fight by 2 rounds. I think the last round was significant. The last round in particular was significant. Quigg threw that around the way. You know, but for me, Frampton nixed the fight by 1 or 2 rounds, simply because of the earlier rounds. But that's where I see this fight, I think, deserves a rematch. And I think the second fight will be more conclusive than the first fight. Those are my thoughts on that, those points. Let me go back in the room and see what people are saying. Right. Slewer says, what's up, G? Mikey B says, shut up for me. Wilkins says here, hit the gloves. Tyson Fury said it was a bollocks fight on Twitter and walked out early. I bet he didn't. Terrence Talbot says, yes, Frampton was more active in this early close rounds. It's not easy to score around the draw, it is, but you've got to be brave and things like that, you know? It was shit, but as soon as I saw Quigg not throwing for 8 rounds, I gave Frampton the first few rounds, but was basically down to Quigg not really doing too much. He wasn't doing anything, Quigg. So Quigg blames it. I think Quigg physically was bigger and stronger in this fight, but he didn't make that count. He allowed Frampton to pinch punches. Pinch punches. I basically gave. Let's go down a bit. Kai D says Quigg threw about 6 punches a round for the first 5. Agreed. Only in the 6th did he start to open a bit. The later rounds, Andy Wilkinson says, and the only fighter that looked hurt was Frampton. Eric Cantona says, if Quigg worked the body early, he probably would have got the stoppage late. The body shots late were hurting Frampton. And I did say that. The body shots is where Quigg should have been going, and he did start digging them in, maybe a little too late. And Frampton was slowing up, as I said he would do in the fight. And that's where I thought Quigg would come on strong and close the show. All that said, I still had Frampton winning by 2 or 3. Yeah, I'm not that biased to the point where I say, you know what, I predicted Quigg will win, and I'll kind of find excuses now as to why Quigg, lost the fight or Frampton. No, Frampton won the fight because Quigg did jack dilly squat in the first 6 rounds. And the fact that Joe Gallagher had to go to Sky Sports scoring, and you know how biased they are, go to Sky Sports and say to him, what's the scores? I mean, can't you see for yourself? Your man's not throwing any punches and he's being outboxed there. Even if he's picking punches off you, Even if the punch is not landing, it looks as if they're landing. So if it looks like it landing and your mate and your fight is not firing back, well, of course, the other is going to score in the other way. That's basic boxing. I mean, you don't have to be a genius to see that. Carl Crotches. What did you say yesterday, Baylor? Quigg knockout 8 round. But yeah, I know what you're saying about Gallagher, except I think he was using that just as an excuse to cover for Scott. Okay, I said Quigg knockout 8 round, yeah, but I was expecting Quigg to actually be active. The last 4 rounds of Quigg is what I was expecting to see in the first 6 rounds of the fight. So I want to see Quigg do that in the first 6 rounds of the fight. I wasn't expecting Quigg to put his guard up and walk around like that for 6 rounds. I wasn't expecting that. Because if he was going to do that crap, we would have said Frampton winning points. I was expecting Quigg, when you actually saw Quigg, put the pressure on Frampton and back him up. Frampton looked a different fighter. He didn't look comfortable. He didn't like the body shots. And if he invested that the first 6 rounds of the fight, the second half of the fight, I think he would have stopped Frampton. But that's ifs, buts, and maybes. The fact of the matter is, he didn't do that. Frampton did what he did, stuck to his game plan, and won the fight. End of conversation. That's it. Even if he won it by a round or by 2 rounds, he won the fight. It wasn't the fight that people expected. Marc Antonio Barrera and Eric Morales, different class. They're different class. Different class. You look at the 2 guys there who really had bad feeling towards one another. Mexican pride. Both believed in their chin. Both believed in their power. Both believed they were best. And they just went for it. And that's that. These 2 guys had respect for one another, too much respect for one another, and that's why you got that 5 or 6 rounds of all the trash talking to sell the fight. Really and truly, they respected one another. They really respected one another, and you can see it in the fight. Whereas Barrera and Morales, they had no respect for one another, and that's why that fight came like that. That's why you have Hagler and Hearns, and that's why that fight was a great fight, because again, those 2 guys had no respect for one another. When you've got respect for a fighter, that's where, see, Ben Eubank. Ben had no respect for Eubank, and Eubank had no respect for Ben. That's why you get great fights. But when you've got guys talking as if they think they've got, like, there's a difference between people who are hyping a fight up and a fight that doesn't need any hype. Frampton and Quigg, they're 2 nice guys. Okay, that's what it is. 2 nice guys. They need to sell a fight. The domestic rivals, build it up. Hagler, Hearns, Ben Eubank. These are fights where guys did not like one another. And that's where you've got that epic clash of styles, guys going at one another. Joshua Wyatt, again, another fight that didn't really need the hype, because those 2 guys didn't like one another. You know there's some bad blood there. So this fight here, it's a little different. Different scenario we're looking at there. Really different. Mikey B.A. says, Quigg done nothing for 7 to 8 rounds. Terence Talbot says, I scored it early for Frampton. Could Frampton beat Rigondeaux, Ingram? No, absolutely no way does Frampton beat Rigondeaux. You look at the guy who's got great footwork, a puncher himself, and believe me, Rigondeaux is not going to be waiting for 7 rounds to hit Frampton. That's for sure. The odd shot that it was, at times during the bout, I was more interested in watching Eddie Hearn pulling his hair out at ringside. Should definitely be a rematch 100% as Mike Tyson. Free Khabib says, where's Free Khabib? There we go. Keep going up, King. There's loads of people in the room. You have to forgive me. Tesco Joe is a clown. He doesn't even own his own gym. It's Amir Khan's gym, Lodger. CPFEC says, Quigg getting all the abuse, but he did bring excitement late in the fight. He did, but he started too slow. Quigg's problem was he's got no back foot game and lacked punch variety to make covers. I disagree with that. I think that Quigg has got lots of ability. He's got good punch combination. I just think that he started slow. That's it. Just started slow. Bottom line, just started slow. True. Mike Tyson says there was a moment in the 9th or 10th where Frampton looked hurt and the referee stepped in and Frampton recovered. Yeah, we'll talk about a referee as well. I think the referee really could have been a lot more stricter. If you had a British judge in there, a referee in there, I would have said, listen, Frampton, stop the holding. Because every time Frampton held, Quigg had to reset. Now, if you want more excitement for a fight, you tell the referee, look, limit the holding and let these two fight. If you remember when Mayweather fought Hatton, again, I'm not saying Hatton would have beaten Mayweather, but he would have had a more exciting fight. I think it was Joe Cortez. Every time Hatton got close to Mayweather, Mayweather would tie him up. And Hatton couldn't work. So referee's key in the fight as well. So I do put some of the blame around the ref as well, because Frampton was tying up all the time, tying up at the time when Quigg really wanted to get his hands go. So some of that lack of action was also Frampton trying to stop Quigg getting into any rhythm, which is tactical, and I understand. Andy Wilkinson says, as I told everyone, I wanted Frampton to win, but put money on Quigg. I'm happy to admit I was wrong, guys. Yeah, I'm happy to admit I was wrong too. I thought Quigg would destroy Frampton in 8 rounds. I thought so too. Because you drank the Sky propaganda. Quigg is basic. But I didn't see anything about Frampton that was brilliant. I didn't see anything that stood out. You know, basic. I thought it was a good fight. I thought there were lots of openings for Quigg to capitalize on, and he did at times. But again, Quigg started too slow. I predicted a comfortable Frampton win. Yes, I agree, Frederick Habib. Marky B says, no, it was an opinion based on his last fight. Marky B says, nothing to do with Sky. I never fell for the hype about it being a classic like those fights. Andy Wilkinson says, please, both guys would get beat from Donaire. Okay, fair enough, Joe Porter. Carl Crotch says, they tried to set it like a classic. And you know what? You will see on Sky Classics one day, Frampton Quigg somewhere, gold classics. Joe Porter says, hype, hype, hype. And that's what it was, hype. I never fell for it. It was a Bellew Cleverly fight, in my opinion, bit of a letdown. Yes, it was. A British dust-up, hence why I didn't pay, says Carl Crotch. Yeah, spot on, Bellew Cleverly comparison, I agree. Not a pay-per-view fight, in my opinion. Frampton is world level, Quigg isn't. Quigg, not even a regular champion, any milking clueless casuals. Marky Beer says, Tesco Joe, LOL, stop it, stop it. Marky Beer says, Donaire is finished, LOL. Why would you want to see rematch, says Kyle D? Not for me. More childish build-up and non-event fight. I think it'd be a better fight. Quigg will start faster. Agreed, Kyle. Joe Porter says, Donaire has the heart that would do it. Marky Beer says, Donaire is finished. I doubt he would beat Frampton. Where do you think both guys go from this, especially Quigg? Yo, 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 says Ryan Flood. I think for Frampton, well, he said he'll fight anybody, so he's going to be back to the corners now. I don't really want to see Frampton going and fighting some unknown. He's got to move on from this. I think Rigondeaux's the fight we need to see him in. We need to see him fight Rigondeaux. So that's it, to be honest. Terrence Talbot says, they trick me every time, Sky. I was thinking this was going to be a classic. They're very clever the way they promote it. Jack Corley says, this was just Frampton, Billy Joe Saunders, Eubank, Quigg. What's this Tesco business with Joe? I must have missed that, Kyle D. Joe Porter says, we will all see that when Framp steps up to the level Donaire has been to. Yeah, we will see. I don't think anything is spectacular and great about Frampton. I really don't. I think he's a good fighter. Basic, no. A good fighter. I mean, for me, just like in the fight he fought against Gonzalez, he was doing a lot of the same things. He was still, you know, with the jab, and even using a real ramrod jab. It was a pointy, flicky jab, and then coming on the right hand. You know, typical Frampton stuff. Frampton, people say Frampton's got all this loads of combinations. I don't know what they're watching. Frampton's a good fighter. He's not a brilliant fighter. I think he's a good fighter. Not when you look at someone like Rigondeaux. Or even Donaire, you know, more combination punches, work rate. And Frampton, for guys who support Frampton, I think Frampton's the dog's bollocks. Frampton slows down in the second half of fights. You look at all his fights, he slows down in the second half of fights. You can't be slowing down against, you know, the elite fighters. Someone like Leo Santa Cruz, who sets a tremendous pace. He's not going to be, Leo Santa Cruz is not going to be taking 7 rounds to throw a punch. That's for sure. And Rigondeaux won't be taking 7 rounds to throw a punch either. These guys are going to come and give it their all. They're not going to be sitting on the back foot waiting. These are experienced fighters we're talking about here. and they will make their opens as well. Ryan Flood says, anyone think Frampton was further than 4 rounds ahead? No chance, mate. I said Frampton maybe 2 or 3 rounds ahead, no more than that. When is the last time a big British fight delivered a great fight? Groves Froch won, the exception. Couldn't tell you. Joe, Donaire is not Golovkin. F off out of here with that. Shane McGuinn has done a wonderful job with Frampton. Well, I think Quigg has made Frampton look better than he actually is, because Quigg didn't do anything for the first 6 rounds. Didn't do anything. So is that because of Frampton being a fantastic fighter? No. Is it because Quigg started slow and maybe lacked experience at the highest level? Maybe. Did the occasion get to Quigg? Maybe. But is it because of Frampton? Well, of course, he's fighting a guy who's, you know, a level above who he's fought before. So you put that in. But I think really experience is key here. I think the amateur experience of Frampton came in, you know, fighting in big events, fighting in Belfast. You know, I think if Quigg had topped a few more bills, you know, maybe that would have helped. But again, I don't know. The fact he was 6 rounds down and Gallagher didn't say, look, mate, you're falling behind in the scorecards here. We can't afford to fall behind in the scorecards. You know, Andy Paddy says, Doc Cotton next for Frampton. Carl Crotch says, did Scott freeze rabbit in the headlights, then tries to gloss it over somehow? I think, like I said, I think that may have happened. Shane McGuigan is Adam Booth 2.0. I might have to say that. Behave. AJ White was a good fight. That's my point. I did say it was a good fight. And the reason why it was a good fight was because 2 guys, it wasn't really hype. 2 guys didn't like one another. What's your point, Cardi? Mike Tyson, now Rigondeaux's fighting out in the UK. Rigondeaux, Frampton should be made. I agree. Do you think Frampton is dead at weight, says Mark? Oh, I think, yes, I do. And one of the signs of seeing something might be dead at the weight is always the second half of the fight. I tell you, another guy who thinks is dead at the weight is George Groves, another guy that fights for 6 rounds, great, 5-6 rounds, and then boom, you know, power's not the same. And yeah, so Frampton and Groves, same sort of thing there. AJ White was a hype job. Was it really? Was it really? Are you comparing AJ White to Frampton Quigg? I don't know what you're watching, Marky, but I think that was quite a good fight. I think you're being a bit harsh on on AJ and White. That was a very exciting fight for me. It was anyway. Joe Potter says, "Yeah, ready for Donaire. Is a rite of passage and you won't get through it. Don't discount Donaire, you plug." Me, you talking about me? I'm not discounting. I'm not discounting nothing. Donaire is a class operator. AJ labouring to KO winner of Fat White is not a good fight. Really? I don't know about that, but I think it's a better fight than what we saw. I think it's a better fight than what we saw tonight because 2 guys were going at it from round 1. So Mike Tyson doesn't do the numbers. Okay. Ingram, thoughts on Donaire? My thoughts on Donaire. Nanita Donaire, what can you say? He's a great fighter. He got beat by Rigondeaux and he got beat by my guy Walters. But at the end of the day, you know, Walters is a big puncher. He moved up in weight. So for me, Donaire is a good fighter. I think he's a very good fighter, and I think that I'd love to see him fight Frampton. I was disagreeing with someone else, Ingram, about there not having been a good dust-up since of Froch Groves. My apologies, Cardi. There's a lot of people in the room. Mike Tyson, Terence Talbot, White beats Parker. Yeah, we're not talking about that tonight. We're talking about Frampton Quigg. Let's move on. Mikey B, what would you rather have the brain of a chimp in your body or the body of a chimp with your brain? That's interesting. Terence Talbot says, Rigondeaux doesn't do numbers for Frampton, but he is considered a true champ, so Frampton should fight. Numbers? Don't fill that garbage with numbers. Rigondeaux is the #1 fighter in the world. Simple as that. Don't give me no garbage about numbers. He is the #1 guy. I don't hear nothing about no numbers, right? Damn numbers. The best guy in the world. He needs the exposure. He should have the exposure. He's not got the exposure. I don't know why he's not got the exposure. Rigondeaux's the #1 man in the world. And I would challenge anybody in this damn room to tell me that Rigondeaux is not the #1 guy in the world, in the room, right? So I don't want to hear anything about no damn numbers. Numbers can be made. Everyone knows Rigondeaux's the #1 in the world. Everybody knows Rigondeaux's #1 in the world, and everybody knows that Frampton Quigg will fight him for 2 or 3 in the world, right? Rigondeaux's #1. End of conversation. If anybody wants to argue me and tell me that, you know, and even you got to put Donaire in there because Donaire's fought better. Donaire's fought Walters and he fought Rigondeaux. Frampton's got nowhere near Donaire or Rigondeaux, so I put Donaire higher up than Frampton, even though he's got the belts and he just beat Quigg. Still, neither of those guys have fought Donaire. Neither of those guys have fought Rigondeaux. So for me, Donaire, Rigondeaux, 2 top fighters. Do you think Eddie Eagle is going to pull a rematch on now? Yeah, I think we could see that. Be honest, Donaire versus Frampton will happen before Quigg? Yeah, I think so. Donaire Frampton will happen before because there's more of a chance of Donaire losing to Frampton because I think that Donaire has been knocked out and Donaire's a little older now. That's why I'll take that fight. But for me, I personally think I would see Donaire before Rigondeaux. I'd like to see Rigondeaux. Rigondeaux won't get the fight. Rematch in Belfast nailed up. I can see that. You answered your own question. You don't know why he doesn't get exposure, but he's the most feared. He is indeed. He is the most feared because Terence Talbot, Frampton blows away at old Donaire. LOL. I don't know about that bit. I don't know. Donaire can punch. Donaire, Frampton's fought nowhere near the level of someone like a Nonito Donaire. Nowhere near. Nowhere near. All right? So I don't want to hear that rubbish about he blows him away. Because he didn't blow away Scott Quigg, did he? And he didn't blow away Gonzalez, did he? So all this stuff about blowing away, I mean, show me a world-class fighter that Frampton's blown away. I don't know where this blow away business. I think that's very much fanboy talk. You know, you've got to think of guys. He's not going to blow Donaire away. If he didn't blow away Scott Quigg and he didn't blow away Gonzalez, who put him in his ass twice, I don't see him blowing away someone like Donaire. So that's disrespectful to Donaire. Sorry. They say Andre Ward didn't do numbers either, but the truth is Frotcher Matchroom didn't want to fight him again. That's true. Boxing enthusiast, hey Ingram, all for fighting till the last 3 rounds. Wrong instructions given to Quigg by Gallagher. Agreed. Totally. Ryan Flood says Frampton to fight Wake or Rigondeaux next. We'll see. Joe Porter says, do you think Frampton will beat Donaire? No way. It will be a hard fight with Donaire stopping Frampton late on. I would go Donaire. I backed Donaire, but then I backed Quigg. So there you go. And he didn't throw any punches. Who should he fight next? I think Frampton should fight if there's not a rematch, which I think there should be a rematch. The rematch should go, and I think the rematch should happen with Frampton Quigg if they want to avoid the Rigondeaux fight. So then those two get a rematch later at the end of the year, and they get a rematch, and whatever happens there. Which I think will be a more conclusive fight because I think Quigg will start faster. Terence Talbot, he fought badly tonight, Frampton. That's why he's at 70%. Excuse me? Really? I don't think so. Moving on. Carl Crotch says GGG doesn't get a whole load of exposure, does he? Or does he? Answer me that. Then please tell me, is it compared to Rigondeaux's situation? Let me see. Who's the best fighter GGG's fought? Let me who's the best fighter Rigondeaux's fought. And I think Rigondeaux fought Donaire. Now, is anyone on GGG's record that comes close to Donaire? No, I didn't think so. Moving on. What do you think would happen in a rematch? I would still go with Quigg. I would still go with Quigg because the first 6 rounds, Quigg didn't do anything. And when Quigg did start doing something engaging, Frampton backed up and Frampton looked very uncomfortable under the pressure. So I would go with Quigg. I would go with Quigg. And I would go back with a rematch. I would go with a rematch. I would go back with Quigg again because I think Quigg would push the fight. What does Frampton do at 126? Gary Russell, Lomachenko. Whoa, Gary Russell, are you serious? Are you crazy? Gary Russell versus Carl Frampton. Are you serious? Lomachenko, really? I don't think so. I don't think so. Quigg against a few tomato cans live on Sky Sports HD. I think the rematch should be pushed, personally. Can't believe Oscar Rivera versus B. Washington was called off tonight. Okay, great. If Quigg opened up earlier, it would have given Frampton the openings to fire off. Yeah, then we would have had a fight. We would have had a fight. We would have known one way or the other where this fight was going. We don't know.
we know that in the last half of the fight, Quigg had the power to trouble Frampton. He was able to push him back and bully him at times. That's what we do know. And if Quigg had started faster, who knows? Those body shots landing early in the fight, second half of the fight, Frampton's got a habit of slowing down. And with those body shots landing, who knows what would happen next? So, you know, it's all hearsay. Bottom line is Frampton won the fight. I want to turn conversation to earlier fights tonight. On commiserations to Shinquin, who lost tonight. Shinquin, he was just getting caught with right hands all night long. I think Jose Berta put in a good fight, landed great shots, and stopped the previously unbeaten Maya Shinquin. Evening, Michael Redman. Carl Crotch says, this is the most direct and best boxing live chat forum on this whole mother F. I'm not going to say the rest. Evening, guys. Evening, Michael. So just going back to earlier in the evening, which I've got to do. Maya Shinquin was getting caught with way too many right hands. When you step up in class, you cannot afford. You know, you're fighting a British Championship level now. You need to keep your hands up. You need to move your head. You can't come in straight lines. You will get countered. You will get hit. You will get hurt. So all I've got to say to Maya Shinquin, get back in the gym, start working your head, stop relying on the fact that you've got a good chin. And yeah. Cardi says, you keep saying if Quigg had started faster, do you put that down to Gallagher, Quigg, or Frampton? I put it down to a mixture of many things. Gallagher, you know, after 2 rounds, look, mate, is pinching points off of you. Quigg, seeing it himself and saying, you know what, this fight's slipping away from me. And Frampton, because, well, Frampton was the guy in the other corner, making Quigg be cautious about throwing his punches. So it's a combination of many things. Quigg got a bit scared, I think, just looking for that big shot, which Frampton is way too smart and fast to take a big one. So all are to blame, like I said. Fair play to Frampton. Boxer pretty smart, 8 rounds. Quigg didn't do enough for the first 8 to give himself a chance on cards. Cracking fight for the first from 6 to 12. Ingram, how are you doing after tonight? How am I doing? You know, I can't be blamed for a man deciding not to throw punches for 6 rounds. But what I will take responsibility for is saying that Frampton did tire. I will say that Quigg was the bigger, stronger man in there, and I will say that had Quigg started the first half like he was ending the fight, we would have seen probably a better fight and probably a conclusive finish one way or the other. That's what I will say. So, you know, going on to Isaac Lowe, we're back to tonight. The next fight was Isaac Lowe versus McCulloch. Thought Isaac Lowe looked very good tonight. Congratulations to Isaac Lowe, the new Commonwealth champion. Another traveller now, Tyson Fury, Billy Joe Saunders, no, Isaac Lowe. And I believe all 3 guys have won the Commonwealth belt, I believe. So, you know, that's good. I'm glad to see Isaac Lowe showed lots of movement. Again, I like how he moved and how he boxed against a bigger, physically stronger guy. He was able to break him down, body shots, movement, and stop McCulloch. Good win for him. And I like a sensible guy talking about not rushing into title fights and world title fights and stuff. We'll take his time and learn his trade. Sensible guy. Guy was very, 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 very impressive tonight. Josh Taylor, I believe, very impressed with that man. He looked class. He looked a class act. Went in there. People put him down as a puncher. He went in there the first round. Had a good look around, look at his opponent, landed some shots. Second round, came out, saw the opportunity, bang, took his guy and took his guy out. I thought Josh Taylor is definitely one to watch. For me, he's a guy I've got my eye on. I like his poise. I like the way he looked, found the shot, looked for the shot, found a shot, put the shot in, and took the guy out. And that's what you've got to do at that level. On the flip side, Ryan Burnett, for me personally, I don't know what the fuss is all about. I think he's a decent fighter, nothing more than that. He's not a power puncher like people would like to tell you. I think a lot of the hype is because he sparred with Carl Frampton and he's got Adam Booth as his trainer. Other than that, I saw him fight against Jason Booth. Like, they must have wheeled out Jason Booth. He was ancient Jason Booth, I call him. And he looked poor against Jason Booth. And he looked poor again tonight. Defensively flawed, I think. A lot of people are really quick to praise guys. Wasn't impressed with Ryan Burnett. I think he was getting clipped with shots all the time. He was never blocking the right hand over the top. And when a guy keeps doing that early on in his career, that leads to problems late on in the career. So for me, I think Ryan Burnett, for me, the verdict is out on. The gentleman who made his debut tonight, he looked pretty decent. Needs to work on his punches up close. But I could see the body shot from first round landing and dropping him. It's good to see him. Gavin McDonald, his fight trained by Dave Colwell. Yeah, Gavin McDonald, good fight tonight. But that guy he fought tonight, Sanchez, I know he's a power puncher, but I've seen amateurs. There are guys I could probably go down to the gym today and see better amateurs put punches together and move around the ring. That guy looked terrible, Sanchez. I don't know where that guy came from. Now, I thought that was a WBC fight eliminator, but as far as I was told tonight, one's ranked number one. Gavin was ranked 9th in the world, and the other guy was ranked 14th in the world in WBC. So I'm not sure about that either. But there you go. So I've just said some bits there of my thoughts on those fights tonight. You guys can catch up and let me know what you guys are thinking. Let's go back and let's see where we're at. There's lots of people in the room. I'll give me a second, guys. There's loads of you in the room, so you're just gonna have to let me. I had a 10 on Frampton, 10-1 split decision. This is my night, people. Embrace it. Yeah, congratulations, Cameron. Simple Boy says, Jim Watt said a few times Frampton looked weak for some reason, even though he was winning. Anything you could add to that? Yes, I think Frampton is dead at the weight. I've said it before. He slows second half of the fight, much like George Groves. And I just wish that Scott Quigg had done his body work the first half of the fight, so the second half of the fight would have capitalized on that. But he didn't, so we won't know. Hi Ingram from Fight Nights, Jim. Yes, Fight Nights. How you doing, guys? Hope you're doing well over there in London. Mikey B, you think he won more than 4 rounds? Let's moving down now. Let's move down a bit more. Okay, Ingram is a man who takes it on the chin. We can't all get him bang on every time. Props to Cameron. Called split decision on cards to Frampton. I keep saying it. Quigg did nothing for the first 6 rounds, so that's not Frampton's fault. But if you know, but Frampton didn't do that great. He didn't do anything outstanding. He just did. He just picked like his amateur boxing. Just picked. Frampton, and again, I go back to the point and say I think Quigg's amateur career, no, Frampton's amateur career is what got him through that fight. The first 6 rounds, pick points. That's what it was. Boxing enthusiast says, did anyone see? Oh dear. Did anyone see Jim Watt's scorecard? I think he had Quigg 2 rounds up as well. Andy Wilker says, Mark, you're talking load of shit, pal. Michael Redmond says, first was pretty even, few tricky to score here and there, but Carl was clear aggressive. Yeah, like I said before, don't want to keep repeating myself. If you're watching the fight as an American point of view, Frampton was the aggressor. Quigg was on the back foot. Quigg had his hands up. I will say this much: a lot of quick shots were being Frampton were getting caught around the head, caught all the time. So the fact that Frampton looked like he was doing something, took it towards him. That's where I see it. Terence Talbot, Watt scored it a draw. So did Froch, but I may be a bit biased. LOL. Let's see what other people are saying in the room. Boxing Dude said that Sky's biased. LOL. It's a myth that ex-fighters can score fights. Michael Webb says, haha, good lad, mate. Wicked when you get it bang on with a win. And people say ex-fighters should be refs. Screw that. Cameron says, I felt before the fight, Quigg's lack of creativity and moving in simple angles would be his downfall if Frampton sticks to what he knows. Quigg didn't do anything. But when Quigg started doing something, Frampton looked terribly uncomfortable. And that's why I look at it. So, again, I didn't think Frampton did anything great. I just thought he was just did basic things. I didn't think he did anything. He didn't put 5 or 6 punches together. He didn't do blinding hand speed or blinding footwork or didn't do anything scientific. I don't see what everyone's talking about Frampton looking so great. Sorry, don't see it. If you want to look at something scientific, look at Rigondeaux. Footwork, movement, picking punches. Lomachenko, moving his position, hit you with shots, open you up. At what point in time did Frampton open up Quigg? He didn't. All 12 rounds, Quigg did that. So I didn't see anything scientific. Sky commentary is sickening and has been for a long time, says Mike Tyson. Oh, it's all kicking off in the room now. I'd like to see, Michael says, I'd like to see a rematch a few fights down the line, possibly at featherweight. Andy Wilkins says, fighters don't score fights well or become decent trainers. The same 90% of ex-football players don't make good trainers, coaches. Andy, I could say about you, but less of the insults. You look childish. Boxing Enthusiast says he needs to shake up for sure. Uh-oh. Andy Wilkins says, no, not to me as you would be made to look more stupid. Don't matter if your shit is aimed at me or others. Michael Ripper says, defo, mate, build it up. Andy Wilkins says, you're acting like a tart, pal. Carl Crotch says, isn't that what Mayweather does? Pick points? Yes, he does. And it's a shame that Gallagher and Quigg allowed that to happen. Quigg did nothing because he doesn't know how to create his own chances. Anybody can see that. He had to rely on Frampton taking risks, who didn't need to because he has more in his armory. I would disagree with you there. When Quigg actually put his hands, changed his defense from here to there, people didn't notice that. From here to there, changed the defense, started walking Frampton back to ropes and landing shots. That's when the fight got interested. And actually, when Quigg started putting shots together, Frampton A looked uncomfortable and B didn't know what to do when Quigg started putting the pressure on him. It was too little, too late. I'm not even going to repeat that. Ryan Flood says, you say Frampton is dead at the weight. Do you not think that fact that Quigg stayed tucked up for so long that made the second half Quigg simply had more energy, which made Carl look tired? No, because if you look back, even in the first Kiko Martinez fight, he looked tired. The second Martinez fight, he looked tired. I just think he's dead at weight personally. Michael Rivers says, I think Quigg was waiting for Frampton to unload and tried to get a big shot and waited too long, in my opinion. Andy Wilkins says, I apologize for swearing, but Mark, you chat shit. All right, lads, leave it out. Mark says, take your sorry ass out of here. No one else cares. I've been on this show way before you even decided to grow a dick, you fool. Oh, dear. Mayweather would be praised for the performance. Hang on. What? Oh, okay. Okay, I'm trying to. Okay. Okay. Ryan Blood says Quigg looked worse on the scales. F about the chat. You've been here the last few weeks and think you know it all. Screw this shit. We'll see real boxing later on with Crawford. We might do. Terence Crawford, somebody that you know I've interviewed a few times. I think he's a good fighter. I still don't know what Crawford's punch resistance like. He got shaken up by Gamboa, who was quite blown up at the time when he fought Crawford. I'm still not convinced about his chin. And until he passes that chin test for me, I'm not so sure. I think he's a good fighter, but his chin, I don't know. And Mayweather's no mug. Mayweather said to Crawford, you want to be careful of fighting Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao punches. Now, I don't know if Mayweather has heard on the grapevine that Crawford's a bit suspect around the chin. I don't know. But what I do know is he got rocked by Gamboa. And, you know, getting rocked by Gamboa, who was blown up at the weight he fought anyway. I'm still concerned about Crawford's chin. So, you know, he's an excellent boxer, but he takes chances, which people like, and he can punch. But when you take chances and your chin's not the greatest, there's always the vulnerability you're getting caught. And I'm still concerned about Crawford. I really am. Right, boxing enthusiasm. If rematch does happen, Quigg needs to swarm all over Frampton because Quigg is not going to have box Frampton for the first 3 rounds. I agree. Now I'm going to go back and read this one again. Mayweather will be praised for his performance Frampton gave tonight. His footwork was good at times, evasive. Yes, I would say, you know, Frampton's picky punches in the first 6 was what won him the fight. So, yeah. Cameron Gill says, big fan of both Frampton and Quigg. Fair play to them both. Carty, anyone staying for Crawford Lundy? Yeah, I will, but I think it's been interesting to see what Crawford does against Lundy tonight. Lundy's, you know, he's a good fighter. If Lundy can punch, it makes it an interesting fight. But if he can't, Crawford takes him to school. Marky B, I haven't seen the IFL for ages. How come? LOL. Right, I need some information about tonight's fights. Very quickly, I want to know a little bit more about. Anybody could tell you Afolabi Huck tonight? I heard that Huck stopped Afolabi tonight. That's what I heard. I don't know if I'll stay up to see Crawford. I may stay up to see Crawford Lundy. I'm not sure. I might do. I might do. I probably will do. Ryan Flood says, I can't wait to see Joe Gallagher's interview where he gobbles up some humble pie. LOL. The first question I will ask Joe Gallagher is, what was the game plan, buddy? And why did you rely on Sky scorecards? Marco Hutt destroyed Afolabi, which I also predicted. Ha ha ha. Joe Gallagher says Quigg was in control during the first few rounds. No, he wasn't. Marco's Crawford by stoppage. What a great night. Ha ha. It's not far off now. Crawford, the real show, says Joe Porter. He's the next big thing. Forget GGG and Ward. It's Crawford. Yeah, I don't know. I think Ward is proven. I think GGG still has to fight a legit fighter where it's a 50-50 fight. And as for Crawford, you know, we'll have to see. I like Crawford. He's got a lot of style, a lot of class. I'm still concerned about his punch resistance at the higher weights. So anything else that I need to talk about before I disappear tonight, guys? Anything else before I disappear? Gallagher will just make excuses. after excuses and making it sound like it was anything other than Quigg's own performance that let him down, which is exactly what it was. Our expectations did not match. Quigg's true level, don't know, because Quigg didn't really let it all hang out tonight. He didn't give from round 1 to round 12. He gave you a 6-round performance, much like Eubank versus Billy Joe Saunders. I don't see that. Again, I just very quickly, I know a lot of people might get offended by this. Gennady Golovkin should not be in the same breath as Andre Ward. Andre Ward has fought the best in his division with Super 6. Gennady Golovkin is fought, you know, he has not had a defining fight yet. Yeah, Andre Ward fought Arthur Abraham. He fought Mikhail Kessler. He fought Carl Froch, Mikhail Kessler. He didn't fight. Who else did he fight? He's fought Saki Abika. He's fought Darnell Boone. Ward's fought a lot of fighters. Fought good fighters. You know, he fought guys. And remember, when Ward entered the Super 6, he wasn't favourite to win it. Gennady Golovkin, every fight he goes into, he's favourite to win. So I'm not on the Gennady Golovkin hype train at the moment, to be honest. Is Canelo a defining fight for GGG? No, I don't think it is. You've got a guy coming up from light middle to middleweight. No, I don't think it's a defining fight. I think a fight against Danny Jacobs would be interesting. I'd call that a good fight because, you know, Jacobs can punch, he can move, he can box. Jacobs' chin's a bit shaky, but there you go. Boone decked him, yeah. Boone did deck him, but Boone also knocked out Adonis Stevenson. Please remember that. Ward is the best on the planet, in my opinion. Canelo is the biggest name, but nowhere near the best on the planet. Who is Golovkin's, that Australian guy? LOL. Ward versus Smith fight was so bad it got banned in 72 countries. Carl D says, cheers Ingram, out of here. Latest, Carl D. I'm off as well. Good stuff. Peace. Right. Anybody else got anything else to say before probably it's because I started talking about Gennady Golovkin. Anybody else got anything to say before I disappear? Andre Ward's best win is Carl Froch. Yep. And Carl Froch beat quite a few fighters himself. He schooled Carl Froch. Got inside of him and bullied him and pushed him back. Who will be a defining fight for GGG apart from Ward? Weight problems holding that up. Well, on a last note and shout out, even if apparently I'm new here, ha ha ha. Fight Strike is launching soon and we'll be working with the top pods. Great to hear. Lizard King at the top of the world. Carl Crotch says, Baylor, when's the next live show? Good question. Will I do after Crawford versus Crawford versus what's his name? Hackmandy? I don't know. Depends. If not, then I'll do a one next week and maybe do a fight review after people have sat down and had a look at the fight again. Maybe do a review of Frampton Quigg. For those of you who are new to the show, don't forget to rate, subscribe, leave your comments. Sunday night is possible. Oh, tomorrow tomorrow morning, I will be talking to Peter Fury, the trainer of Tyson Fury, and Hugh Fury. I'll be talking to him tomorrow. That'll be an interesting chat to have with him. I've got a few questions to ask him. So yeah, I think that's about it. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you. I appreciate you all for being in the room and watching the post-fight show of Frampton versus Quigg. Really appreciate you all being in the room. Appreciate the love. Don't forget to rate, subscribe, leave comments. Tell your friends about it. Share the post-fight video on your across social media. Let's get these subscriptions up. Let's get more people in the room. Love you all. Yeah, by the way, Vladimir confirmed he will be fighting Tyson Fury, and in a few days there will be an announcement to say where the fight will be announced. So yeah, thank you guys. Appreciate the love. I'm definitely out of here. Take care.